Yes, we're right on time here, just barely finishing dinner here. K6MYC Bozo Net 222, beaming toward the Bay Area. I think I heard Paul, K6WIS. Let me give you, get the antenna a little bit more your way, Paul. Somewhere up in here, that should be better. K6 Whiskey India Sugar, I believe. K6MYC, over. Well, I'm not hearing anybody now.
86S, okay?
What's that?
K86S, okay, Mike? You hear me okay?
Yeah, very massive flutter. Massive flutter. You're probably hearing it on me. Let me come back and peek on you, Fred. Give me some chatter. I got your 507. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of flutter tonight. Doesn't make any sense. Do you think it's because it's windy in the valley? Do you have a lot of high wind in the Central Valley right now? We had a lot of wind today. Go ahead.
You're too fast for me, Fred. I couldn't even get my hand on the knob and start to move before you turned it back. I should be a little closer, though. Anyway, we didn't have much wind today, although I heard that there was some wind around the areas, but we didn't have much here today. It was a nice day. Much warmer than yesterday. Way warmer. I froze my butt off yesterday. Today I was out till 3 or 4 o'clock, and it was still pretty nice. Just starting to get nippy. Anyway, good to hear you, Fred, and thank you for coming in here on 222. KD6SOK, the Bay Area, K6MY.
Okay, yeah, Mike, sorry I didn't give enough chatter to sit on me. Yeah, the band is really, conditions is really choppy right now. I'm not sure why it's going up and down, but that's strange, you know. Sometimes, well, the choppiness on 432, I guess, but this is small most of the time. Yeah, it was really windy today, and it's supposed to be even windier tomorrow. It's calm right now. But boy, it sure is dry. We can sure use some rain. Anyway, Mike, you sound good. I know you're just finishing dinner. 86, that's okay.
Yeah, we had a nice dinner. Really good spaghetti, squash spaghetti, squash spaghetti, and turkey meatloaf with it, or meat burgers or something, and some nice salad. It was wonderful, and garlic bread. Oh boy, that was good. So I'm stuffed. Anyway, good to hear you. I guess everybody's sitting on the edge of the seat wondering what's going to happen in the election. So we'll be, I guess we'll be finding out in the next couple of days, more or less. I hope that we can get an answer by Wednesday for sure. KD6SOK, K6MYC, over.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to know till Wednesday. You know, I've been surfing all the websites and nothing yet, so it's going to take a while. I think the earliest we'll find out is maybe late tomorrow, but probably Wednesday is probably when we're going to hear what the outcome is. So, and you know, it's pretty close. Who knows?
I'm not sure it's as close as it's made out to be. It's a sad thing that it's as close as it is. In any case, good to hear you. Let's see if there's others on frequency here this evening with the time change and everything. I'm not sure what we're going to get here tonight. 222 has been very light the last couple of weeks. We only got about 14 or 15 last week. So stand by, Fred, or if you have to get away, go ahead. But thanks for coming in. We'll see you perhaps either on 6 meters, or maybe we'll catch you on 432 on Thursday. KD6SOK, K6MYC. Over.
All right, thank you, Mike. I'll just stand by for a little bit, and then I'm going to go get some dessert. 7-3, KD6SOK.
Okay, 7-3, friend. Okay, QRZ Bay Area, kilowatt 6 Mike Yankee Charlie, and we're also looking for KW6 Sugar if you're there, Tom.
6PQL.
W6PQL. You've got the same weird flutter. It's not flutter, it's a fade. What do you call that? Twice heartbeat rate. 60 cycle fade or something? 100 cycle fading. Anyway, good signal so far. Let me get up the antenna a little bit more your way, Jim. W6PQL 1296, K6MYC.
Okay, Mike, yeah, I think you're a little bit further south than you need to be for me. A little bit, maybe 5 degrees more north and you'll have it. But that could be that you were just hearing my push-to-talk button go flaky on me. It snapped a couple of times, and how the all the TR relays click, click, click when that happens. So that's probably what you heard. Anyway, I won't keep you. I noticed it was windy this morning and pretty calm in the afternoon. But the forecast is we're going to have red flag warning here, and that's supposed to occur for the next 3 days. So I imagine that's going to be not just the Bay Area, but probably your area also. I'll say 73s for now, and I'll catch you a little bit later on and tell you whether or not Steve was in there. K6NYC, W6PQL.
Okay, what's over red flag warning?
Well, that's when you have extreme fire danger. Usually it's high winds, dry weather, and above normal temperatures.
Well, I don't know if the temperatures are going to be above normal. Well, I guess they would be for this kind of year, but we're only going to be in the 70s here. I don't think we're going to get anything even approaching 80. It was nice today, but and the light wind off and on. I saw wind going east-west or something. I saw the trees or the bushes moving in front of the kitchen window. But as I was around the yard and in the barn area, I didn't notice any particular wind, nor did I hear it. So who knows? It wasn't of any note here. But the temperatures were sure nice, and the sun was out. It was quite warm, quite a nice day. I worked outside for a couple of 3 hours, maybe longer for all I know. I don't keep track anymore. Good evening, Jim, and we'll see you on 6. QRZ Bay Area, looking for KW6S and anybody else in the Bay Area for 222 Bozo Net. And we're looking for locals here as well. Wow, where's everybody tonight? Everybody must be glued to the TV to trying to find out what's not going to happen until tomorrow or the next day. Not much to learn tonight. Anyway, I'm not going to be a pontificator on that subject. QRZ Bozo Net 222 K6MYC, and 6 meters was wide open today. I hear somebody in there. Give it to me again, please. Again. Please, the station that called in, please do it again. I'll try to copy you this time. Go ahead, please. Try again. Over. KW6S, KW6 Sugar, K6MYC. Tom, are you around? KW6S, KW6 Sugar, K6MYC, over. Okay, go back into the Bay Area, KWA6AXX. WA6AXX, are you around this evening, Ed? K6MYC in the Bozo Net, over. Okay. May not even have a net tonight. I'll go up and get, let's see here. That should be pretty close to Oakley. N6RO, N6 Radio Oscar, N6RO, K6MYC Bozo Net, over.
610.
Okay, I hear 610. I heard 610. Go ahead, 610. You're very light. For some reason, Tom, KW6S 610, K6MYC, over.
K6MYC, KW6S. Yeah, looks like everything should be doing about as good as I can do here. But just got off my other net and thought I'd try to get in here before you totally got away from me.
Well, I called you 3 or 4 times. I keep forgetting you've got another net that runs almost simultaneously to this one. So that's why you're usually late here. But thanks for coming back and getting on here. I may have heard somebody else say 610. I was pointed clear up at 885 or 890. You're at 875 or 875, 275. I'll get it right. I copy you best at about 275, but I was clear up at 285, 290. And I don't know whether somebody just relayed your call sign to me. It didn't sound like you. All I heard was 610, 610. Anyway, take the transmission. You're good copy now. KW6S, K6MYC.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, 6 meters has still been doing its thing. Been working the East Coast in the morning, mostly up around New England. And Jay Hayes in the late afternoon with no Koreans. But I didn't try any sideband, but none of the signals I was getting today would be sideband workable. But I keep waiting for that. I'll surprise somebody sometime.
Boy, the band is certainly up and down. Must be this disturbed wind and everything. Okay, on 6. I heard your comments on 6 meters. The band was wide open for me, very loud. I had huge FD8 signals that were up against the peg on the spectrum display. A huge signal from a VE2 beacon. I called CQ on 110 about 20 times. Finally, I went in the other room, and we were sitting there eating breakfast, and I heard a voice, very weak, and I came in and struggled, but I finally worked a Victor Echo 2 on sideband on 110. That was my only contact. So somebody at least got on sideband. But there was hundreds of signals on FT8, and I could hear both sides, both halves of the minute. So you're right, it was wide open. But later in the afternoon, it died. Or at least I got the feeling it died. I didn't hear any FT8 at all later. And I didn't go toward the Pacific, but I usually hear it if it's there, even weekly, but I didn't hear anything later. KW6 Sugar, K6MYC Bozo Net.
Yeah, very good, Mike. I'll, if the band's open up tomorrow, I'll give it some sideband on 110, 125, see what I can scare up. It's been fun. I still haven't worked for my worked all states. I still need to get Rhode Island and Delaware. Those might be the same two I need for 160. I'm not sure. I have to look. But otherwise, good to hear you tonight, and I will catch you on 6 a little bit later. And see you Saturday.
Okay, thanks, Tom. Yeah, I was listening this morning. I think probably around 9 o'clock. I got on 40 meters at about 8:15 and worked until about 9, and then I switched over. But even during that time, even before I started on 40 meters, I could hear a lot of signals on 6 coming from the east. So the band was open even at 8 o'clock our time, which would be 9 o'clock regular, or 9 o'clock daylight savings. Anyway, yeah, pay attention tomorrow. And I called on 125 also. I called about 10 or 15 times on 125. I had one person come back to me, but I couldn't read them. And they would only make 3 or 4 words, and then they would sign. And I kept saying, talk longer. I don't know where you are. I need to point. I need to point the antenna. And then they wouldn't come back for 3 or 4 transmissions, and then they'd come back for 3 or 4 words. I finally gave up. These guys are so numb that they don't know how to operate on a weak signal situation. 7-3, Tom, we'll see you on 6 in a few minutes. KW6S, K6MYC, Bay Area Bozo Net, please, over. Bay Area, where are you guys? Bay Area Bozo Net, 222, K6MYC. Okay, I'm going to go up to try again. We're going to try again for Oakley here. I was up there once. Oakley, N6 Radio Oakley. N6RO, N6 Radio Oakley, or N6RO, K6MYC Bozo Net, over. He's probably on a Zoom meeting. I think I'll go up into Sacramento, and then he'll call me when I'm up there. QRZ, K6MYC. I hear a voice in there, but I don't know where to point for you. Is it N1PPP, perhaps? November 1, Papa. Clear Lake. Is that you? QRZ 222 Bozo. QRZ 222 Bozo Net. K6MYC. Okay, I'm going to go towards Sacramento. I'm not hearing anybody. Let's try Sacramento. KJ6 KFB or KO6KD. Are you guys around? K6MYC Bozo Net 222.
Yeah, KO6KD number 776. I'm right where I ought to be.
Yeah, boy, everybody's got this weird fading on them. That's not exactly fluttery. It's fast flutter or real slow flutter every second or something. You're probably hearing it on me as well. Good evening, Bill. It was good to catch you this morning and get the gang back together a little bit there on 40 meters. KO6KD, I wonder if you've heard Darren yet. K6MYC.
6-meter net, over.
Are you asking me if I'll be on for 6?
No, I'm saying Darren may not be on for 6 meters, but we'll wait and see if he shows up. But I have not heard him at all today or this evening, over.
Okay, very good. The reason you were so fluttery was I was way off frequency, way off in the direction here. I'm having trouble reading my own readout. Anyway, good signal and good to hear you. As I said, good to have you in there in the morning on the 40-meter thing. It's here. Good to hear Bob back. Tomorrow we may have some more interesting stuff to talk about, and certainly the next day after that, for sure. Anyway, I haven't heard Darren yet, but maybe he may show up here before it's over. I'll go back and call him again because I don't think I was pointed right for him when I first called there. Anyway, how am I doing up there now that I'm pointed more at you? KO6KD Roseville, K6MYC.
Yeah, very light fade. Very light fade. Very nice and stable for the most part. Just very light, 1 or 2 just about one S unit. I have you most of the time about 5 dB over S9. 5 dB over S9. Very nice signal, Mike, over.
Okay, good. Up and down, though. It's up and down. Very completely perfect copy, however. Very good, Bill. Let me go down and give Darren one more call. I'll go back just a bit here. Darren, you can probably copy me if you're in there. KJ6KFB, Southwest Sacramento. KJ6KFB, K6MYC. Darren? Okay, nothing heard from Darren. Are you hearing anybody? I heard a voice, somebody conversing a few minutes ago in here, but I didn't know who it was coming from. Or did you hear that?
No, I did not hear anything on my end, Mike. Nothing at all. It's been very quiet up here.
Yeah, well, we're running very light this morning. This evening, we've only got 4 or 5 check-ins so far. It's very light. Hopefully, that'll correct itself after the elections are over here. But people must be busy with that. And, of course, the time change doesn't help, although we didn't do too bad on 2 meters last night. Well, how many did you get on 2 meters last night? 40. You had 41 or something, didn't you?
33, I think.
33?
43.
Oh, 43. Okay, yeah, we did really well on 2 meters. So they're out there. They just aren't getting on this band for some reason lately. Anyway, I'll let you go, and I'll come back after I get out of Nevada. I'll stop here and see if I can pick you up, and then I'll look for late checks and missed in the Bay Area, and then we'll look for you over on 6 meters after that. Bill, be pointed toward Nevada first, of course. KO6KD, K6MYC. We'll see you in a few minutes on 6.
Yeah, okay, and it sounds like you got the hiccups. Gee, I hope it was good, whatever you drank. I could use some of it here, actually. Just kidding, of course. Anyway, okay, very good. I'll let you go, and we'll be listening here and over on 6 meters. So we'll be standing by. K6MYC and the Bozos from KO. I take up enough room, Mike. You want to just log me down twice as much room as I take up? That way you can, pad the number of check-ins. Okay. KO6KD.
Yeah, we'll put you down twice, and your id, and then your other side, your other half, the good half. KO6KD, see you in a little bit. K6MYC. Anybody else for 222? Over. Okay, I heard 226, I believe. Is that right? No, that couldn't be right. Try it again. You're very weak. I don't know where to point. Give me your bozo several times. Over. Call again, call again, call again, please. Over, over. Okay, Papa, 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 coming your way there. N1 PPP. N1 PPP 336, K6MYC, over, over.
Okay, I got you now. I've got Kent too, K6MYC.
You're making your transmission so short we can't get our ears tuned to you. Is that you, Dave? You don't sound normal here to me. At N1 PPP, K6MYC, over.
Yes, it is. It's Dave, N1 PPP.
Okay, you're doubling with me.
N1 PPP, 336, 336.
I've got the 336. How about Kent? How about 160? Is 160 on frequency, or has he been on frequency tonight? N1 PPP. Go ahead, Dave. K6MYC. Roger, Roger. We've got 160. Thank you. Thank you, Dave. Good to hear you. Long time no hear on 222 here. Conditions are pretty poor. Conditions are pretty poor. You're not peaking up very good. I'm running about 800 watts to a pair of 222 XP40s, so they're at 100 feet. So we're doing the best we can on this side. I switched to vertical polarity, but it went down, so you're definitely coming horizontally polarized, but not much signal tonight. N1 PPP, Clear Lake, K6MYC. Thanks, Dave. Thank you. Seven three. Okay, let me go to Sacramento one more time here. Sacramento. KJ6KFB, Darren, if you're in there, K6MYC. Go ahead, Darren. Okay, let me go up to Nevada here. Nevada. Coming up to Nevada. N7 Whiskey Tango. N7 Whiskey Tango. N7WT or KE7UQL. K6MYC. Kilowatt 6 Mike Yankee Charlie. Bozo Net. Over. KE7UQL, KE7UQL, K6MYC. Are you there tonight, Daniel? KE7UQL or N7 Whiskey Tango, N7WT, Gardnerville, KE7UQL. KE7UQL, Carson City, K6MYC, calling and listening.
This is KE7UQL, over.
We got you, Daniel. KE7UQL, Carson City, K6MYC. Good to hear you. Good to hear you, and a good signal. Thanks for getting on 222 with us here. Have you heard anything from Larry? KE7UQL, K6MYC, over.
You're very, very weak at this time. Can I copy over?
Is that keying up?
Yes.
Here we go. This should be better.
You're better.
That should be better, Daniel. I don't know how it happened, but one of my switch got thrown in the wrong direction here. KE7UQL, is that better? K6MYC, over.
Yes, Roger. I can hear you now. I couldn't hear you before. I had silence, over.
Yeah, well, I was only running about 10 or 15 watts at first. Anyway, have you heard anything from Larry tonight, over?
Negative at this time. We're going to hold it down the north end of the battle here, over.
Okay, I think you said you're doing battle. Are you doing battle with the weather? Is that what you said?
Oh, negative. All quiet on the northern front. All is quiet on the northern front, over.
Oh, okay, now you're way up. Okay, signals are up and down, and sometimes you're good copy, and other times you're on the noise. Anyway, I guess we have not heard Larry tonight. Nothing from Larry?
Nothing from Larry, Roger.
Okay. He may still be over on 6. 6 was open part of the day. I don't know how about now, but it was open up big time this morning. I worked into Canada on sideband, only made one contact, heard hundreds of stations. I heard hundreds of stations on FT8, but I finally got somebody on 50.110 on in Canada to come back. I one contact for the whole 10-year wait on F2. KE7UQL, K6MYC, over.
Oh, that's good, Roger. Glad to hear you having a good time on 6 meters. I have been looking 20 meters for Bozo, over. Okay, we lost you again. Here's KE7UQL calling from Device 09, over.
We're just having a difficult time, Daniel. It may be the band conditions. You're kind of fluttery and watery, and we're just having difficulty. Both Judy and I are sitting here looking at each other. We hear you talking, and we look at what did he say? What did he say? So we're struggling with the readability. It's not that you're weak. It's just the band is distorting the signal. Anyway, thanks very much for being there on 222, and we'll see you. We'll see you on maybe, I guess no 1296 tomorrow, but we'll see you on Wednesday. KE7UQL, we'll see you Wednesday. K6MYC.
Roger. See you on 2 meters. We'll see you 2 meters on Wednesday. Here is KE7UQL.
Okay, we got that all okay. Fine. We'll see you on Wednesday on 2 meters. Thank you, Daniel. Thanks for being there, my friend. You're keeping Nevada alive there. KE K7UQL, last call for K7 N7WT. How about it, N7 Whiskey Tango? Are you there? Okay, nothing heard. I'm going to go back to Oakley and see if I can get Oakley in here. Maybe stop at Nevada. Let's see if I can get this thing to work right here. Somebody whistling. Who's the whistler? K6MYC. Give me the Bozo number again. 311 does not.
311.
Oh, that's the heading. Okay. Give me your Bozo number again. Try this again. KJ6KFB or whoever was trying to talk to me, please give it to me again. K6MYC. Okay, let's try it this way. N6RO. N6RO. N6 Radio Oscar. K6MYC calling and listening. Let's try this one more time. N6 Radio Oscar, N6RO, K6MYC, Bozo Net, over. Okay, back into the Bay Area. Bay Area. Late checks are missed. Kilowatt 6 Mike, Yankee Charlie, K6MYC, Bozo Net, Bay Area, please, over.
WB6JNN.
WB6JNN. Good evening, Jim. Good to hear you. Give Judy your number and tell us how you're doing today.
Yeah, I'm number 285, and I'm doing fine. I was hearing you calling up north there. I can hear him fairly well here, but like you say, right at the noise level. And that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, we kept hearing voices. Were you trying to call me when I was up north?
No, somebody else. I could hear them in there, but that was about it.
Yeah, we couldn't dig them out. I think I did get the Clear Lake guys finally. That was one of the groups that was calling in. So I heard Clear Lake, and we got 2 check-ins from Clear Lake, which was good. But I didn't ever get the other guy identified. Didn't sound like any of the regular voices, and of course N6RO was always very strong. And I recognize his voice cadence. Anyway, Anyway, you're sounding good, Jim. Pretty good copy on you, and no real terrible fading like we had on some of the other guys. Hope your day went well, and your plumbing, did you get your plumbing finished today, for heaven's sakes? WB6JNN, K6MYC, over.
He's coming to talk about it tomorrow. We'll see what happens on that. But anyway, he had to go talk to the city as to what they really wanted done. So that was part of the problem. But anyway, we'll get it done eventually. It's working, so that's the good part. WB6JNN.
Okay, so the city said they still want some little change made to your system. Is that it?
52.
Okay, we'll put in 52. Put in 52. That's Steve. W6QIW. No, that's not right. QIW, isn't it, Stan? Isn't it, Jim?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Yeah, very good. Thanks for 52. We're getting finally getting a list sort of here. I have missing quite a few people in the Bay Area, though. And I don't know what's happened to Ed. He's kind of dropped off the picture here. He checked in once in the last 2 weeks. So he's gotten very quiet up there. WA6AXX and WB6JNN chatting away. And okay, on the at least it's working. So you got water. That's the main thing. Good evening to you, Jim. And maybe we'll catch you on 6 if you can get on. I'll be back on 6 in a few minutes here. Everything seems to be working. I did work 6 meters today. I worked a Canadian in Victor Echo 2 land, of all things. One guy on 50.110. That's the only contact I made all day. Hundreds on people on FT8, but nobody on sideband. WB6JNN in the group, K6MYC.
Yeah, K6MYC, WB6JNN. Well, that's the way it goes sometimes. And FT8's a lot easier. That extra 10 to 20 dB helps a lot. But people have gotten too easy getting the small fish instead of the big fish. Getting the big fish is getting somebody on sideband, but that's the way it goes. WB6JNN.
Well, when I'm hearing signals that are S8, S9, and anything that moves the S meter is easily workable on sideband. Anything that moves the S meter, and there was a lot of those stations. Many of them were S8, S9. The beacon from Canada was S9 at times. It was up and down a lot, but the Canadian beacon was just pounding in here from Victor Echo 2. And then I worked VE2QRA, of all things. A foreign guy, he had a very heavy accent. I thought I might have had a European there for a while because I was only getting him partially until I figured out where to point. But he was calling me on 110 as I was calling lots and lots of CQs. CQDX 6 meters over. I finally got one human to call me. I don't know about these other digital modes. These are all, what would you call them? Not nerds. There's another word. Digital guys. Anyway, 7-3, good evening to you, Jim. WB6JNN, maybe we'll catch you on 6 if you can do it. K6MYC, Bozo Net, QRZ. Okay. I guess we'll go over to 6 meters. I'll leave the radio on here. So maybe I'll turn it down a little bit, but if somebody does come in, I'll turn it up toward N6RO, or sort of split the difference between Oakley and the Bay Area. Maybe I can hear anybody that does come in for late checks or missed. Here we go to 6 meters, 50.110 for Nevada.
KA6USY. Oh, there you go, Mike. You're a little high on frequency. Let me turn my speaker down a little bit. KA6USY, Delta Mike 06.
There, I'm on the right frequency now for you there, Aaron.
Yep, you got it. So K6USY 1079 and Bozo 1100. And I've made a slight improvement to the stream. Instead of a compass, I'm now overlaying a map of California, and it shows everybody what direction you're pointed. So according to the map, you're pointed right at Reno. K6USY.
Well, that's kind of where I'm supposed to be pointed.
And I've been watching you.
Yeah. Okay, Judy's watching the screen. I'll have to look at it closely, but thanks for that, Aaron. And we got 1100 in here, and I heard Rob in here earlier. Rob, you're here, right?
Roger, Roger. I got a couple check-ins for you also, over.
Okay, we'll read off about 3 at a time and then give a break for Judy to write them. Go ahead.
Okay, I just got a couple here. First, I got Rick, old Bozo 61. That's Kilo Bravo 6, Romeo, Quebec uniform. Rick. And then I had Daryl in here, but he had a steak on the Barbie. He got his timer, said he had to go get it. So he may be back in, and he's going to listen for a while on this fancy new radio. That would be 982 KG6 CEF. Daryl, over.
Okay. What was the one before, Daryl? I didn't catch who it was. Oh, 61. I got Bozo 61. I thought you had another one after him.
No, just those two. I haven't heard Ben tonight, over.
Okay, maybe we'll hear Kerry in there as well. Kerry, hopefully, will get out in the shack. It's not too cold to get out there. KC5DTU, we're looking for you. Ken is at a dinner with his wife. It's Gwen's birthday today, so Ken will not be here as he had to go. He didn't have to go. I'm sure he wanted to go to dinner with his wife for her birthday. Gwen is 39 again. Over.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I heard that, so I sent her a little birthday wish. I hope I had the right phone number, but anyway, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, he won't be in tonight. He's got more important business there, over.
Yes, he does. All righty, let's see here. Let me see if Larry's on the frequency, and Richard should be here as well. Richard, how about it? KD6BQ, KD6 Bravo Queen, K6MYC, over. N7 Whiskey Tango, N7WT, or K7SUN. We might even have Stan in here. K7SUN, N7 Whiskey Tango, KD6BQ, beaming Nevada, K6MYC, calling and listening. You know, I think this is the Monday night that Richard has a meeting. Once every month, he's got a meeting on Monday night, and I think he told me last week he wouldn't be here on Monday. So that would excuse Richard, but it doesn't excuse Larry. Larry's probably pooped out. He probably spent all day on FT8.
Yeah, but we're early enough. He should be there, over.
Yeah, boy, my band sounds really funny tonight. You're just gorgeous copy. I mean, the background noise is just non-existent. Something doesn't sound right here. I hope I can copy everybody I should, but you're booming loud here. Frank should be in here, perhaps.
If he worked FT8, heck, his computer did all the work.
Who was that?
Yeah, WB6GGY, Bozo 884.
Oh, my goodness, you're loud. You're like in the room with us, Phil. Phenomenal signal tonight. I must have something different on this radio. Maybe Aaron made an adjustment to my radio. to turn the RF gain down or something, because I've got, maybe, did you turn my preamp off on this radio, Aaron?
I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to see what's different. I'm not seeing any. I was looking at it real quick, and I'm not even sure where I turn your preamp on and off on this interface. So I'd have to find it.
Well, first of all, you can look up where it is. It's called amp 1 and amp 2. It's about 3 lines over underneath the 1 in 50.140. I think I've got amp 1 on here. I can do it myself here. Let's just see.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done the preamps for you on this rig, so I'm not sure where it is on the software.
That's all right. I got it here, but I can't read it, so Judy's going to have to tell me where amp 1 is. One of those boxes, Judy. Here I go again. I could probably live with amp 1. It makes the background noise a lot more pleasant here. Let me go back to amp 1, but at least I know where if I need more signal I can do it.
Okay, I think I found it, Mike.
I switched back to amp 1. It was on amp 1. That's why it's so quiet. I'm not used to having such a quiet background noise. But okay, good.
Yep, you're back on 1. I found where the button is. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. Okay.
W6BBS 72.
There you are. You're sounding loud.
Yeah, well, I got weird stuff going on here. I got no reservoir, nothing going on, but when I tried to bring the power up, I get an arc warning on this amp, so I got things to check out.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think my gremlins all moved to your place.
Yep, something happened. Oh, that's what happened. I was going to say one of my computers just went offline, but knocked the internet antenna down. Anyways, I'm here. I'm checked in. I'm tired. Aaron, you was on my screen. I saw what you had going on there with the map and all that, but I was busy trying to figure out why my amp didn't want to work. So anyways, that's it. I'm here. I'll be here for the rest of it, Mike.
Okay, very good, Frank. We still haven't found the program that you and I were in. The one that we thought we were in, it doesn't have any driven element on the 40-meter part. The hairpin was there, but the driven element of the 40-meter part was missing completely. The reflector's there. Did you erase it by chance?
Sorry. I walked around. I've got a magnetic antenna on I got a computer that doesn't have a network card in it or anything, and so it's got this exterior antenna networking thing. It's a little magnet, and I guess I knocked it off the side of the rack. But if I deleted it, it was an accident. When I left, everything was ready for you guys to finish it.
Yeah, we just can't find that file.
I don't know.
Yeah, but the problem is you didn't date the file. The files are dated, and we've looked at every one of them that was done in the month of October, and we can't find any of them that are even close to right. He took all of it home on a dongle, and he's going to look at it while he's got time at home. So we'll see what happens here. but he's been here since about 5, and we've been struggling with it, but we just can't get the right program up. I can't find the program where the 40-meter antenna looked like 28, 25, 28, 27 dB of front to back and 11.01 dB of gain or something. And the only one we can find is 24 dB of front to back and 10.8 of gain, which isn't bad, but it's not right.
There was one of those called ON4 Mini or Mini 40. It was called something else. Is that the one we were in?
That's not a very good definition. They were called something else. Is that the one we were using? I don't know. I don't know what we were using. Frank, you had gone into 3 or 4 different things, and we renamed some stuff, but all the stuff with the quasi names on, the one I thought we wanted to use was 2040DX or whatever it is. That one.
Yeah, I don't know. When I get there and can look at the computer, I'll try to figure it out.
Yeah, I know, but I got a customer that's chomping at the bit here. Called me today, wondering what I was doing.
Tell him you're bozoing around.
Yeah, I have. He's okay. He's patient, but it's been 2 weeks, and I thought 2 weeks ago I told him I'd have an answer for him pretty quick. He's trying to get the antenna up before the rain in Oregon. He's too late now. He said the rain's already started, but he can work in the rain or you can work in between showers, he said. Anyway, he was just curious as to know how we were doing. So I just want to get it finished up and out of our hair, and it's just fighting us. This one's really got Murphy riding it. All right, let's see who else is in here. K6MYC, 6-meter Bozo Net. I'm beaming toward Nevada, but I'm not hearing Nevada tonight. Where are you guys?
WB6JNP.
I hear Course Gold. That's a hell of a long ways from Nevada.
You're doing well, it's just a roll of the dice.
3 people talking at once. Go ahead, Dane.
Okay, K6MYC in the group. WB6JNP, 107 Course Gold.
We got that part. Thank you. How are you doing up there?
Doing well. You know, it's cold and all that. So, by the way, the other day I looked at the recording rain gauge, and it showed we actually got 1/10 of an inch. I checked with Dan, who has the same style rain gauge I do, and gee, his showed 1/10 of an inch also.
Well, isn't it nice to get correlation?
Oh yeah, that was Dan's whole thing. Was he'll look at my one sensor and he'll say, oh, it's off and all that, and you have to understand topography. And when it's measuring particulates in the air, I used to get a huge spike in the afternoon, and I couldn't figure out why. And then come to find out it was my neighbor's barbecue.
All that rare steak bubbling away, huh? Okay. You asked me a question, Judy. What was it?
Bozo.
Who? 107. He said it several times.
I got 407.
107. Okay. That's what blew her away. She heard 407, Dane. I heard 107, but of course I know what it was. No worries. Good to hear you. And we've got a little weather station here. I told Judy about it today, and I'm going to try and get it set up and maybe get it working here before too long. Anyway, all right, let's see. Let me shoot it back to you, Phil, if you're still there, as we kind of cut you off in the middle with all kinds of other chatter here. WB6GGY, if you're still there, Phil, K6MYC.
Yeah, we're still here, WB6GGY. You're loud and clear. Great signal into Twain Hart. WB6GGY, Bozo 884. And very good evening. I can hear Judy in the background there. And it's all drawing to a close here. So we'll hope folks get out there and vote. And with that, we'll be on the side. WB6GGY, Phil in Twain Hart.
last 4 words you said, Phil? Something about 29?
I think you said Twainhart.
No. Well, doesn't matter. Phil's got that short attention span, so you can't remember what he just said.
WB6GGY. Yeah, no, I gave you my Bozo number. I say Bozo 884, and we will be on the side. We'll be on the side, WB6GGY.
I think that's what I heard. Be on the side sounded like I'll be 29 or on the something that rhymed with side. Okay. We'll be 29 or something. That's what I heard. The crackers are on the table, Phil.
We'll take
Kilo Golf 6, Charlie Echo Fox, 982.
Hey, good evening, Daryl. You're sounding really strong tonight.
Well, it's just the wire for the time being. I got to have you fix me up with something a little better.
Yeah, but you're on the 991 this evening, aren't you? Is this an Alpha?
Yeah, oh yeah, yes it is. Yes, it's an Alpha, 991 Alpha. Yeah. But as far as antenna-wise, I'm just talking on a wire.
No, you're fine. I think the difference here is I've turned the secondary preamp off on this radio, and it makes the background noise go way down, and you guys are just roaring in here tonight like locals. So we'll see. They'll see how that holds up when I work the real distant stations all the way out there in Sacramento. We're not getting anybody out of Nevada tonight. So I guess we'll have to give up on Nevada and move into Sacramento. One last call, Nevada, KD6BQ, N7 Whiskey Tango, K7SUN, KE7UQL, or anybody in Nevada, K6MYC Bozo Net. A big quiet sky. Okay, that's it for you guys. We're going to Sacramento.
KM6HK, of course, go.
Oh, hi, Dan, and Jody probably doesn't remember your number. I do, but I'm not going to give it to her. You got to.
Okay, I think it's 803. Copy 803.
Yes, we did. Yeah, you're loud.
Okay, I hope I'm louder than Dane.
759 KR6MR.
And just two I got right in front of the antenna there. You're just standing there right in front of the antenna, aren't you? 759. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, good evening, Mike. Yeah, I'm looking at this really cool map you have here. Just wish you could put another part of the screen. Anyway, it's okay. KR6MR Bozo 759. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Is the screen big enough so you can read the map?
Yeah, I can see the map, but you have all the live chat underneath, which takes up a lot of space, and the map kind of covers up the majority of your radio just appeared in a little corner. I just got to move stuff around on the screen. You know, it's livable.
Aaron, are you hearing this? I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, no, he just he's got a bunch of the YouTube interface up on his screen, so he can make some adjustments on his end. But we are kind of covering up a little bit the spectrum scope with the map.
With the map in there. Yeah, well, it's good. I mean, I know what's going on.
Yeah, you're not copying Aaron. I turned it over to Aaron, who's running the net, and set that up. So he says you've just got YouTube stuff on the screen there that you can get rid of or move or delete.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Anyway, it's nice to have. I kind of like it.
Okay, you do like it? Is that what you said?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. The word "do," you got kind of some people tonight on both bands have got really funny fading, and about every second and a half you have a very deep fade, and sometimes we don't miss the word, but we misinterpret what is being said. And I wasn't sure whether you liked it or you didn't like it. Did and didn't is hard to discern in an all over.
Yeah, we're all practicing for tomorrow.
Amen. Well, I'm not sure I follow that comment. You want to explain?
Just political junk.
bicycle junkies, junk. Talking word salad, are you?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, we get on the radio because we like the radio, and the radio is something that we like to get on. So we get on because we like it, over.
Roger on that. That's the way it works.
I like this radio, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's very good. I tell you what, Mike, continue on with the net, and I'll just be sitting here and listening.
I'll just continue on with the net. Why don't I just and put you on standby? Or no, I'll actually say 73 to you, and I'll put it into the net control person who's going to continue on with the net. If he would ever shut up and continue with the net, we may just go on. And the next thing I'm going to do is continue with the net. Over.
Okay, Mike. Good practice. Catch you later. K6MYC, KR6MR 73.
Well, I worked for Lockheed for a while. We used to have to screw around with the inspectors. Judy screaming in the background. We used to have to give this inspectors at Lockheed, when they were inspecting our solder joints, on a 55-pin connector that was about 1.5 inches in diameter, there'd be 55 solder pots in there. We'd have to solder them. And they would say, well, you're on solder pot number 35, you got a little bit of solder flux running down the side, and we would make those excuses. Well, you know, when you're soldering a 55-pin solder plug, you could easily get a little flux on the side, and we try to clean the little flux off when we solder it, but sometimes when we solder it, we get a little flux on the side, over.
Yeah, I mean, that's understandable.
Absolutely. See, I'm getting in practice. All right, guys. Enough of that fall draw. Bill, I wonder if you're there. KO6KD. I'm going to turn it over to KO6KD now. Do you think we should let KO6KD in? K6MYC.
I suggest we run it up the flagpole and see if anybody salutes the idea.
Boy, you're weak.
Oh, am I really? Well, I'm sorry. I'm doing all I can. Be okay here. Gee, I don't know. K6MYC and KR6MR and anybody else within the sound of my weak signal. This is KO6KD, Bozo, number 776. Over.
Okay, 776. We've got you. KO6KD. Good. No, you're fine. I didn't have the antenna quite on you. John's stronger than you are tonight, which is a rarity. And that's why I was commenting. But you're fine. No problem. And I wonder if Darren ever showed up anywhere there. I got nobody in Nevada. I did get Daniel on 222 up there, KE7UQL in Carson City, but he was the only one. Of course, he's the only one that, well, Larry's got 222 also. But that very light check-ins here on 222 tonight. We're not breaking any world records here on 6 either. Anyway, how about Darren? KJ6KFB. Darren, are you there? I don't hear Darren, but let me do this. Let's see if we can get some CW out of Redding. Redding. KD6 Sugar Whiskey, KD6SW. We had pretty good contact with him last week. K6MYC calling Redding, and standing by. Over. Roger. KD6SW. Pump out your number. Over. Roger. 145, 100% copy. Very light, but we've got you. Good evening, Rich. Good to hear you. Pleasure to hear you on 6 meters. The band is very, very quiet tonight. Sounds beautiful. KD6SW. Thank you. K6MYC.
November 6, Bravo, Charlie.
And 6BCC. Good evening, Merle. Good to hear you. You're almost in the path. I might as well pick you up because we're done with Redding, I think, and we didn't hear anything from from Sacramento, other than Bill. N6BCC. Let's see, 1134. That doesn't sound right.
Yep, 1134. Yeah, probably a little lower on signal and stuff tonight. My antenna's down about 8 foot above the roof, and I had to start to bring it down Sunday to do some work. My rotor spun on me, so I can't change directions. But it's basically more or less pointing towards you. So this weekend I should have it up and running properly again.
Well, you're a little light from normal, but you're perfectly readable, Merle, so it's working. Once you get an antenna working, height above ground is a factor, but it usually doesn't keep you from making the contact. Have you been working anything on 6 meters? The band's been wide open in the mornings to the east and up into Canada, over.
No, I'm usually gone for work. They're about, usually about 4:35 in the morning. I'm usually heading out to work, so I haven't really had any time. And this weekend I didn't have much time either to take and play on the radio a whole lot. Yeah, because, I did a bunch of fences and stuff around here and gates. And so Sunday, since I couldn't work on the antennas, was clean up all the old wood and haul it off. And Saturday, I finally got my beamer up and going. And this stupid little O-ring, been waiting over 2 weeks for it to come in. Got in, so I got my car going, so now I can park my pickup and drive my car back and forth to work. So I drive almost 100 miles a day, so just to get to and from. So my Tundra just passed everything but a gas station.
I know how the big cars are with those big 454 engines in there. They don't like to go too far. I had one of those big Chevys with a 454, and it could go 8 miles to the gallon, whether you needed it or not. So I know what that's like. Yours probably isn't that bad, but anyway. Very good. Well, you're sounding fine. And, well, let me give you a word of caution. You have to rearrange during this season, and this may only happen once in the rest of your lifetime. Now, you got F2 that's beginning to happen on 6. The band is opening to Africa and Europe, particularly from the west-east coast, and some of the guys in the middle part of the country now. Colorado worked into a very rare station in Africa the other day, a couple of days ago. So the band is open, and if you want to work states and countries like Europe, not Europe, but Canada. I worked a Canadian today on 50.110. Only sideband station I worked all day, but there was hundreds and hundreds of guys on FT8. So the band was absolutely wide open, and it has been that way for the last 2 or 3 days. So you have to readjust your priorities. If you can possibly listen in the mornings between 9, even 8 and 11, 8 to 11 or 8 to noon, that's when we might have European openings. And that's what you want to get. But if you can get on at that time, you can also pick up a lot of states, and the rare states like Rhode Island and Maine and New Hampshire and all that stuff were in there. One of the guys on the Bozo Net worked 61 East Coast stations in one day the other day. N6BCC, K6MYC, over.
Hey, Roger. Well, I may just have to take Thursday off. I can't skip tomorrow or Wednesday. I have no choice. But I think Thursday, I feel a flu bug coming on Thursday morning. So I think I'm going to take and do that. Yeah, because I've been, I've been seeing and hearing a lot of guys are just working 6 really good. And I'm just like, man. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I think I will definitely do that. Because if worse comes to worse, I can always use my end set on 6 meters too.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing, in the afternoon 2 days ago, they worked. One of the guys worked 4 or 5 South Korean stations, Hotel Lima 9. They worked a whole bunch of JAs and one guy in China. So that's also open at the latter part of the day between, say, 2 o'clock and 5 or 6 in the evening, over.
Oh, Roger. Yeah, my goodness. Yeah, I I took and, I guess 2 weeks ago, took and worked some pretty good stations that coming in there. Well, like did the Canary Islands, Argentina, Aruba, Cuba. Cuba was the first for me. A couple in Asiatic, Russia, Japan. I couldn't get them to quit calling me. But yeah, I mean, just a bunch of them in there that I haven't got. The other day I took and just couldn't stop getting them. It was amazing. And the funny thing is, a lot of it was on 10 meters. And that was a blast. I really had a blast that day. I wasn't even trying to make contacts, per se, and I was getting all these good ones in there.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Now that same thing is happening on 6. So you got to pay attention. It's much rarer on 6. You may not ever get another chance in your lifetime. We might have the same thing next year at this time, and the F2 that we're getting right now continues on through about March, and then it's over, and we get into the E season, and there may be some chance for some DX, but not as good as the stuff that happens when we get the F2. Like you're getting on 10 meters, that's all F2, and it's red hot, and it can get like that on 6 when things are really rolling. So I'm just trying to get you to be aware. 7-3, I'm Earl, and good evening to you, and we'll take a standby for anybody else put in this direction. N6BCC, K6MYC, clear but listening. Go ahead, Merle, for your final.
Hey, Roger, Mike. You and Judy have a super fine evening and a great week and everything, and we will definitely catch you next week for sure. And thanks for the tips. Like I said, I feel a flu bug coming on Thursday morning. I think I got to do some 6-meter work. Have a great evening. November 6th, Bravo Charlie Charlie, we're QRT.
Okay, 7-3, K6MYC, Bozo Net, 6 meters. Anybody?
N6RO.
Oh, N6RO, you about blew me out of the shack here. But good signal. We missed you on 220. Do you want to talk to me on 220?
Somebody else covered you up. Say again, Mike only.
That was pretty garbled. I didn't get much.
Someone covered you up. What was your question?
He wants to know what your question was, Mike. He wants to know if you want to work him on 220, Ken.
Oh, okay. 222 is kaput until further notice. I sent Mike an email tonight saying I wouldn't be there, so there's no point in calling me until I get it fixed, and I'll let you know on the other bands.
Okay, I'm copying you fine signal strength-wise. It's just you're making very short transmissions, and my ears are not adjusting quick enough to your audio. So no worries on 220. We'll let it go. We did call you several times, and I don't get email because I don't read them. Over.
Yeah, I figured someone might help you. Send it to the Proton address. Anyway, also on that email I sent, if Judy can check it, some URLs so you can listen to the guitar pickers in San Francisco.
Oh, okay. Very good. Yeah, you've got my email address correct. It's Mike, K6MYC, @protonmail.com. The problem is, if I don't specifically, Judy tries to keep up with it, but I can't read it. I'm blind, so I can't see the screen at all.
I read it.
And Judy reads it, so she'll catch your emails to me. But for some reason, we didn't catch the one this afternoon about not being on 222. No worries. We got you here on 6, Ken. Good evening. What'd you have for dinner?
Let's see. I had steelhead trout. I thought it was salmon, but it was steelhead trout. And I forgot my Bozo is 835, Judy. And the temperature was, high temp was about 70. And I've been involved in playing with a new radio. I got an ICOM 7610 for the HF bands. So I now have 3 ICOMs. Slowly learning how to handle the messages.
the buttons okay, but the menus are above my head at the moment. Anyway, I'm learning. N6RO.
Okay, well listen, Bill, KO6KD in Roseville has a 7610. He's quite familiar with it. He also has a 7700, which is an earlier similar radio, so he's very, very familiar with ICOM stuff. And he may be able to speed up some of your learning curve there. He's on frequency, or he was just a few minutes ago, so you might, I'm sure you hear Bill if you turn toward him easily, because you guys aren't that far apart over there in Roseville. KO6KD, Bozo 776, Ken, over.
Yeah, I can. I didn't hear Bill tonight, but I don't have one of the Aggies pointed. I'm on 3 antennas at the moment. My high antenna is on the Bay Area, so I can hear the guys as you get down there. And one on you, and the HO loop, I usually hear Sacramento guys. But I have plenty of friends, you know, in Triple C and other contesters who have the thing, so they're going to coach me.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, Bill can give you some heads up on that. He's got a transverter. His 222 transverter is working into the 7610. And so he's doing more than just using it for HF as well. He likes the 7700 better, actually, but the 7610 is newer and has more features. But he really is in love with the 7700. Anyway, you can catch him Wednesday, or you can probably just turn this way now, and he might still be listening here. So it's up to you. 7-3, Ken, good evening, and thanks for checking in here. We'll see you tomorrow on 1296. Bill does not have 1296. He's got the antenna, but he hasn't got it in the air. So that's the only band you can't work Bill on, over.
Yeah, okay. Well, thanks.
I hear you, Bill. Stand by.
And this last weekend, I only had one overnighter, all-nighter, I should say. So I'm recovering faster from this last contest. And so far, we're holding up as the number one in our category nationally, which we have never done before when we were remotely. Anyway, after that, we'll see you on the other band tomorrow.
Okay. Well, listen, Bill is in here. Bill, come on in, and maybe you guys can slide down the band to 130 or up to 150 or something and have a quick chat and maybe set up something where you can help Ken with his 7610. KO6KD, go ahead, K6MYC.
Yeah, Mike, I can just barely hear Ken. I can tell he's there, but I can just barely copy him. If he can swing his antenna towards Roseville, I do not know where he's at. But give me an idea where he is, and I'll try to rotate his direction. And likewise, or if he wants to go to 75 meters, I'm sure I can hear him fine there. And we can talk about it. But let's, or 2 meters. Where is he?
Well, he's in Oakley. And he's got 2 big antennas on 6. It's just that they're pointed toward me. Let's see if he's got it aimed on you now. Ken, are you copying Bill now?
No, I'm sorry. It takes so long to get the antennas around. Let's not take up net time. We'll check in with Bill another time. As I say, I've got plenty of contesters who can also give me some hints. Thanks a lot. We'll see you on that very high band tomorrow, N6RO.
Okay. He doesn't want to take the time to spin the antennas. The antennas are on bigger HF arrays on the towers that rotate, so they take a long time to rotate, Bill. He can get a big booming signal up to you. Here's all that stuff all the way to Nevada. But he's just not going to turn at this point in time. I thought he had one that rotated quickly on a smaller tower, but apparently not. Anyway, he's got some contesters that work with him, and he feels pretty confident they can bring him up to speed pretty quickly, too. So he may catch up with you. They can try for him on 2 meters. You guys can work each other easily on 2 meters, over.
Yeah, if he wants to come up to our Simplex channel on FM, relay to him the frequency of 145.535, 145.535. It's Simplex FM only, and we're vertically polarized. So ask him if he wants to come up there. If not, no worries. I just talked to Darren, and Darren will be showing up here. He'll be giving you a call or listening for you, Mike. Over.
Okay, very good, Bill.
Clear, Bill.
Forget about my other antenna on the low tower. I use it so seldom.
Okay, did you copy him that time, Ken?
No, not at all.
Okay, he's got a simplex frequency they use on FM a lot. That should work very good. 145.5, what was it, 535, Bill?
Yeah, 145.535, simplex, over.
Yeah, simplex 145.535. You must have something up for FM on 2 meters, right, Ken?
Yeah, my third ICOM rig, 705, I use on repeaters and such.
Well, it's a simplex frequency. You won't be going through a repeater. You got to point toward him and go direct.
Okay, I'll have to do that on another radio. Anyway, I'll let you run for now, and thank Bill for his interest in helping me, and we'll get to him some night.
Okay, very good. Are you copying him, Bill?
Negative. I hear his voice, but I cannot make out anything that he is saying. Over.
That's really weird. You guys are so close together. He's in Oakley, which is not very far from you there. He wasn't very far from W6SSW over there in Discovery Bay. Not too far from them. They're about 8 miles away from that. So that's his heading. Probably point right toward the Bay Area. You hear each other fine. All right, no worries. He said thanks for the help, and maybe he'll catch up with you on another day here. He's a little pressed for time here this evening. 73, Bill. Thank you, Ken. 73 to you. Anybody else for the Bozo Net? K6MYC.
756.
756. I hear you, Daryl. 756. We got you, and thanks for coming in. How are you doing?
Very good. Kilo Juliet 6, Kilo Foxtrot Bravo 756 for the check-in, Mike. I know you're running late, so get a move on.
I got your check-in, but I didn't understand the last little bit of what you said there, over.
I said you're running late, so get moving.
Oh, running late. Yes, well, there's no such late on 6 meters. If they aren't there, they aren't there. We've already picked up the guys from Southern California in Lake Isabella, so we've only got the Bay Area to finish up here. Thank you, Darren, thank you, and 73s, and maybe we'll see you on Wednesday. KJ6 KFB, K6MYC. Thanks, Daryl.
Kilo Oscar 6 Delta Golf Juliet.
KO6 Delta Golf Juliet. Good evening, John. Good signal. Not a bad signal at all, but I cannot remember your Bozo number. Over.
My Bozo number is 1145.
Okay, I got it. Judy stepped out for just a second, so I'm now keeping the log, so that's why I had to break for a second. Good evening to you. Nice signal down here. And thanks very much. We got 2 check-ins here for you, Judy. I think 759. Did I write 759? And then that was the latest one.
1145.
Yeah. Okay. You find 745 on there? 759? 756.
756.
756. Yeah.
1145.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, got it.
Thank you.
And now, back to you, John, and hopefully, are you able to work anybody on 6 meters in these wonderful openings we've been having? Over.
No, I haven't. I've been concentrating on 10 meters, but I will tomorrow morning early. I will go up on 6 meters and see what I can scare up. I'm dying to get out of that 10-meter group. Oh my goodness! I got to get my general. Then I'll be able to go out and play with the big boys.
There you go. Yeah, 50.313 is where the FT8 signals are. Are you set up for FT8?
No, I'm not set up for FT8. I'm not that literate yet.
Okay. Well, you'll hear the signals there. That'll tell you if the band's opening. It's a bunch of tones. They shift at 10 hertz. A very, very minute shift. Your ears can hardly hear it, but you'll recognize the tones. They go on for 20 seconds, and then there's a pause, and then they start again. The other guys start. It's about a 20, 25-second transmission period, and it's just tones, but you'll hear all kinds of different tones around 50.313. For sideband, make noise on 50.125. 50.125 is the national calling frequency, over.
You said 5125?
Yeah, 50.125. 50.125 is the national calling frequency. The international DX calling frequency is 50.110. You should make a note of those three frequencies, and that'll pretty much cover you. And if you have a spectrum display on your receiver, like today, I could see the beacons pounding away down below 50.100, and they went down, and there was this very, very strong Victor Echo 2 in there, over.
No, roger that. Okay, I wrote those down. I will definitely be up early in the morning and try that out. But 10 meters have been going pretty good here lately. Made all kinds of contacts. I talked to Japan today and Australia twice today, different people. And yeah, I'm having a blast. I just got to get my general. I need to get up those other frequencies.
Yeah, well, it's not too hard to do that. It's just a matter of, it's harder to find somebody to give you the test than it is the test, over. Okay, 7-3 for now, John. Good evening to you. K06 Delta Golf Juliet in Brentwood, K6 MYC, 7-3.
Okay, 73 is K6 MYC, K06 PGJ.
Bye-bye. Okay, I'm still looking. Maybe I'm a little north, but Bay Area, K6 MYC, Bozo Net. It should be a lot closer to the Bay Area. Bay Area, Bozo Net, 6 meters, K6 MYC.
KW6S, 610.
Oh, okay. There he is. We missed you on 220. What happened? KW6S, are you not hearing me? K6MYC.
Oh, I am hearing you. I thought you were working someone else because I did check in on 222.
Okay. Yes, you did, come to think of it. But you came in late. That's right. See, I always miss you because I've got you locked into a point where you're the first guy I call on 6. And then later on, when you do check in, I remember you have that other net. And that makes me think that you didn't check in because I called so many times and didn't get you, over.
Yeah, well, that sort of thing happens.
Yes, it does. Okay. Anyway, we've got you here on 6. Let me see if I can write you in.
I got it.
610, okay. And so you're checked in here. Judy's got you logged in, and I'll see if Lee is here tonight. Lee, I wonder if he's got his 6-meter antenna working. You might have to listen for him because he may have a very small station there. He was very good on 2 meters last night, but it may not be as good on 6. AF6 United, Alpha Fox 6 United, K6MYC. Lee?
W6BQ.
NYC, yeah.
I hear you, Jim. Stand by.
I am out here tonight, Bozo 1098, the Countdown Bozo, and just getting ready for the trip. We leave Wednesday morning.
Okay, you're going to be gone just 1 week and then back, right?
Yeah, that's about the timing that at least the event planner has told me about.
Okay, very good. Well, good to hear you in here, 1098. And I also heard Jim, W6PQ. I'll check in, but you've got a good signal over here. I moved the antenna a little bit more in your direction, but no problem. Copy. And Lee, good to hear you. I'll turn it back to you, and you can turn it back to Tom, and we'll sign with you guys and pick up the rest of the Bay Area. AF6 United near Watsonville with KW6S in Santa Cruz, K6MYC. Go ahead, Lee.
K6MYC from AF6 United. Yeah, I don't have too much more to add, so I'll toss it over to you, Tom. KW6S from AF6 United. Go ahead.
Very good. AF6U, KW6S. Yeah, not much going on here. I'll gear up first thing tomorrow, waiting for that F2 6-meter stuff to open up again. So that's been a lot of fun. AF6U and KW6S. Back to you, Mike.
Okay, well, F2 was in this morning for a long time. I was working the not East Coast, but I guess you could call it that. I worked VE2. VE2 beacon on, I don't know what it was, 060 or something, was just pounding in. So I went up on 110 and called CQ and finally got a guy in VE2 to come back to me. So I had one sideband contact on 110, over.
Yeah, just tell me about that. I'll have to get on 125 and 110 tomorrow, and along with the FT8 stuff. Yeah, I didn't have as many to work today because I'd worked so many of them yesterday, but I worked a few of them again just for good measure.
Yeah, very good, very good. So you did get in on it. I'm surprised. Well, it should pop through to Europe here sooner or later. And Europe should be in until at least 11 in the morning, somewhere between 7 and 11 for Europeans on 6, and then it switches over to North Africa and Africa, so you may just move around the clock, over.
Yeah, I have worked, I think France, I'm looking real quick here. I've worked France, and that's about the only, in Ireland, that's the only European type stuff I have on 6. I have a little bit of Asia and a little bit of South America. Not as much South America as I would expect. But, yeah, I keep plugging away. I'm at 21 countries, but I don't think it's going to go too much further.
Well, I have 136, so you'll get there.
Okay, well, yeah, limited antenna, and I don't know how many more cycles I'm going to be able to work through.
Well, you can catch them all in one cycle if you're on top of it. F2, the two guys you got in Europe, France and England, were probably on E-skip. That were summertime contacts, my guess is, because we haven't had any F2 to Europe for a long time. It used to be so good on Europe that I could work crossband. When the guys could not get on 6, I'd work them, I'd talk to them on 6 up in Sweden and all over Europe. I'd talk to them on 6 meters, and they would crossband back to me on 10, 28 to 885, the 10-meter calling frequency, over.
Oh, okay. Well, I heard references to crossbanding before, and I always thought it was on their 4-meter band.
Yeah, we don't have to do it anymore because most of them have the privileges to get on 6 meters, but this was in the old days before they had privileges in Europe. The only countries that had privilege for 6 meters was Ireland and maybe one other. And so you could only work them that way. And then, of course, later I worked quite a few of them on direct F2, but most of them I worked on moon bounce, over.
Yeah, well, you've had the opportunity to do some really amazing things in ham radio, and the moon bounce is one that I had dreamed about, but from a small city lot, I don't think that's going to happen.
You'd be surprised what you can do with modest antennas these days with the JT65 stuff. Anyway, we'll let you go, Lee. We'll talk to you tomorrow night on 1296. I think you said you were questionable on 1296. Did that materialize or what?
I think I'll be here tomorrow on 1296. I think it'll be the 432 night, Thursday night, that I'll duck out.
Okay, very good. 73 Lee, 73 Tom, and we'll go back into the Bay Area and finish up there. Jim, if Jim's still there, thanks for your patience. W6PQL, W6 Papa Queen London, K6MYC. You still there, Jim? He looks like he's ducked out. Let me get a little bit further up into the Bay Area there. This should be better.
1296 on there?
Yeah, he was there earlier. Good evening, all. Bay Area Bozo Net, 6 meters, K6MYC, standing by. Over.
Okay, hello, Rick. Yeah, you're a little bit down, but your antenna is pointed in the right direction, so I expect it'll pick up. But just checking in with you here on 6, giving you another call to put in the log there. K6MYC, W6PQL.
Okay, this should be better, Jim. I guess that was a little bit high. And there was somebody else in there with you, so I want to take a standby and pick them up as well. But I was struggling with you as well. Is this better, Jim? W6PQL, K6MYC, over.
Yeah, you're S9 now. Very good signal here, Mike.
Okay, good. Anything to report? Do you have any other check-ins there?
No, I think you got them all. If they hear you, I mean, if they hear me, they're whatever. I think you got it covered. You're strong enough to get anybody. See you later. I'll check in with you tomorrow. W6PQL closing up.
Okay, thanks for checking in, Jim. And let's see, who was the other voice in there, please? Kilowatt 6 Mike Yankee Charlie, Bay Area Bozo Net. Somebody was in there. Maybe it was just one of the boys saying 73s. QRZ Bozo Net, we got AB6SR, we've got a whole bunch of guys over there that should check in. K6KLY, we got KB6 Whiskey Foxtrot Charlie, we've got KF6QCH, K6BVP Vlad, KT2G. Do I have to keep going? WA6AXS. Where's everybody tonight? K6MYC Bozo Net. Okay. It's good nighty time, isn't it? Rob, over to you. KM6SR. You've been quiet over there. K6MYC.
Yeah, just listening and writing, and as usual, Corsico put Bay Area to shame, haha.
You bet they did, boy. We got everybody tonight. Let's see. I don't think I didn't hear was K6BBG.
Yeah, I don't think he's put that antenna up that I gave him for trading some welding, but never got any welding.
Okay. Has the welding been done now by somebody else? Did you get one of the other brothers to do it?
No, just haven't done any welding yet, so I don't know. It was all big ideas, I guess, but didn't happen.
Well, it's a two-way street there. Do you have to remind him that he needs to weld something for you, or go over there to have him do it, or what?
Well, I guess I could, but, his health hasn't been that good, and he's been kind of busy where he was trying to work on the motorhome there for a while, so I didn't pester him, over.
Well, I think he's opened up now.
All right, well, I'll have to design a project to get him to weld for me. I think I needed one more tilt-down fixture for my third tower here, over.
Okay, very good. I think we're done. Aaron, anything else from you? We haven't heard John tonight. K6 Mexico, Italy. That's unusual.
Yeah, I haven't heard John down this way either, but yeah, no, nothing for me, and it's kind of fun sitting here watching the line move around on the map, and we can tell when you overshoot the Bay Area. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I can't read the numbers sometimes. I was struggling with my controller tonight. I don't know, it was jumping around on me, and it must have been me. I'll have to pay more attention to it. I'm trying to do it with one eye, and it takes both eyes and my mouth hold right to get it to do things right.
So one of the cool things about the map is I can actually click on a location on the map, and your rotor will go in that direction, which is actually kind of neat. So if we ever get to the point where we need to point the thing for you, you can just call out locations and say Sacramento, and all I got to do is click Sacramento on the map, and it goes in that direction. It's don't even have to know the heading.
Oh, I see. Is it touch screen? Is that it?
No, I mean I just click it with the mouse, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Like so, right now I'm going to click on Fresno, and there it goes. It's going to start rotating down my direction here, and there I am.
Okay, Rob, we have 20. What do you got?
I was just going to ask what the young lady's singing. Yeah, I've got 20 also, so we're good.
We're good to go. Wonderful.
There you go. Now you're stronger.
Okay, let's see where you got me here. 2.
Yeah, it should be about 200, which is pretty much almost in my direction, according to the map.
I think it is 203 or something here.
It's saying 200 on the on my end, but there might be some slight differences between. Well, I actually should be reading what you got on the screen, but anyways, yeah, it's kind of a neat interface. And of course, if you zoom this out to the whole planet, you can go, oh, you hear a signal from Spain, and you click on Spain, and it will compensate for, the Great Circle route, and point your antenna in the right direction. I don't know how you'd get it to do long path. That would be interesting. You just have to probably just type it in manually. But I know you know a lot of these headings for your own station, but it's kind of fun to see it on a map.
Yeah, no, I was looking at the wrong readout here. It's reading 294, and I said, wait a minute, 294, that's not what you're showing. And I was watching the 220 rotator. You were on the 6-meter rotator. So it is reading 200. It's reading correct, over.
Very good. Yeah, so, if you ever get lost on the map, just say what direction you want to go, and we'll click on it.
Hey, Aaron, I'm looking at the stream, and it's still pointing a little bit above San Jose. Do I have something wrong?
Yeah, you're not looking at, look at the clock in the corner. You're probably not watching it live.
It's pointed at 200 as I see it here on my map, Rob.
Yeah, he's probably behind on the stream because that'd be back a couple minutes ago when you were pointed at the Bay Area. His computer can be a little slow sometimes.
Oh no! He needs to get Skylink.
Well, he's also running an old computer, so it has nothing to do with his internet. He needs to get a new computer.
Rob, are you behind the times?
Yeah, I'm computer challenged, as you might say, over.
Wait till you're computer challenged and visually challenged, and IQ challenged like me. We're really in trouble.
Yep, Roger. No, I clicked on the live, and so now it's showing it pointing down south.
Well, what do you know?
And of course, you don't come down this way very often on 6 meters because there's nobody else down here. Well, except for John when he's around on Monday nights. But I don't know where everybody is on 6 meters. I got to get more people on here.
Yeah, well, if you want me to be strong, you point me toward Nevada or up that way toward Placerville, 340. 350. Those are good numbers. You pound in here.
Yep. Yeah, we'll do that right now. Just as a so I just clicked on Reno, and it's going to go to about 358. I'm going to fade out here for a second while you go through the Bay Area. And we're going to Sacramento, and then almost to Lake Tahoe, and then there you go. There's Reno.
That's a screamer. We put the faster rotator controller in here. The other one was really sloggy.
Yeah, that actually turns pretty quick.
Yeah, considering it's a 50-foot boom, 6-element on 20 and 40, and a 50-foot boom on 6, it's way too quick.
Yeah, that's a lot of mass to move.
I may have to go into this rotator and turn it down to so it has a ramp. I don't think it's got a ramp in here.
Oh, okay. So you can slow it down. So if you're only moving a little bit, it doesn't try to over torque it. Yes. So Rob, you should be pointed in your direction now.
Yeah, I see on the map he's pointing up towards Nevada.
Yeah, no, this is pretty cool software. I like the map instead of the compass, because the compass was cool, except for no one's got any context to where you're pointed in the scheme of California. So the nice thing about the map is it's got a little dot where roughly where your house is, and then people at least have a context for what region you're pointed at. You must be tinkering around with the rotor. K6USY.
Well, you got me locked out. I can't make it do what it's supposed to do here. It's not responding to programming mode.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I wonder if it does that when it's connected. Oh, of course, now I've got it at Sacramento here. Hold on. Well, let me get over. You can hear me again. Then let me close I'll close the application here to see if that helps you out here. So give me a second here. Okay. So let me close it here. Okay. I got the app closed. So see if that helps you out.
Okay. Well, I see it's pointed at 190 right now.
Right. Yeah, so I got it back down my direction, but I got the app closed if that was locking you out of program mode.
Okay, let me see if I can go into program mode. It came up as a P, but it wouldn't respond. Hang on.
Of course, I think you're rubbing up against the VFO.
There we go. I got you back on 140. Let's see, is Frank listening in the background? W6 BBS K6USY.
All right, right, now rotate it and see if it goes a little slower.
Okay, let me get the app back open here. Okay. And I'm just going to do this without the map here, so let's go to 240 and go. Yep, that looks like it's going a little bit slower now, so that looks better. Yeah, and then it's ramping up.
Yeah, it ramps up from speed 1 to speed 9, and once it's going, then it ramps down if it knows where it's going.
Okay, yeah, that's probably pretty helpful. Okay, let me get the map back on the screen. Oh, good, it came back up to the same position I had before. Okay, so then I can click on back there, and now it's going to slide back in the other direction. So, yeah, that looks a lot better.
Good evening.
Okay, well, when we're done here, why don't you put me back, well, let's see, for tomorrow. Normally, when I get up in the morning, I want to be toward the north. So put me at 355 when we're done with the net, but not tonight because I don't think I'll be on there in the morning. Anywhere is okay for the guys that are local in Sacramento and Twain Harte there. I'm going to get out of here. Judy's already in the other room looking for a Haagen-Dazs, no doubt. I'm going to do the same. 7-3s, guys, I'm tired. KM6SRR, W6BBS, probably signed and gone, but he said he would be out there when me have fallen asleep. Let's see, K6USY and as co-pilot, 73 all, K6MYC.
Good night.
There you are. Good evening, Craig.
Yeah, I had to go deal with Jen for a minute, and after you take off, I'm going to chat with Aaron for just a minute.
Go ahead.
All right, good night, Mike. K6USY.
K6MYC, KM6SR, 73.
73, go ahead, Frank.
Okay, yeah, Aaron, I'm sorry. I've been running around. I still haven't figured out exactly what's going on here, but there was a lot of new and I think I know what it is. I needed a bunch of barrel connectors for in that passed through a chassis. And I had some that came out of these cell towers, and they got these lightning arrestor things. And I've had those be bad before, and I think that's what's causing my problem. But anyway, so I like what I've seen. I did have the thing running for quite a while. I wasn't paying a lot of attention to it, but I like what I'm seeing there. And a piece of information for you, Aaron. Behind me, the computer's running. It currently says the date is January 20th of 2023, so it hasn't run for a while. But anyways, I fired up a couple of computers that were older, lesser machines, and I'm taking a look, and I anticipate when I go to Mike's taking one with me, all set up already with the PST rotator software and everything on it. And I'm assuming that we are going to disable Wi-Fi on this thing, and it's just going to plug into a switch, as you say. And is there anything else that I should do before I take you down there over?
First of all, did you order the switch? And then you'll need 2 patch cords because the cable coming into the barn, you'll unplug it from the 9700, plug it into the switch, and then you'll need a patch cord to the 9700 and a patch cord to the computer. So you'll need 2 Cat5 cables and a switch.
Yeah, roger that. Between Mike and I, we probably got at least 35 or 40 of them laying around in different drawers and whatnot, so that's not a problem. So I got all that covered. I know what I was going to ask. This is going to be live all the time, so it's going to just do its own Windows updates and stuff?
Yeah, you can just leave that on, but we'll probably need to configure it to auto log back in. That's what I do on the streaming computer. I just let it install updates whenever it wants overnight, when nobody's paying attention, and then when it reboots, it just logs right back in.
Yeah, roger that. And I don't know how to do any of that stuff, so I'll let you figure all that out. So very good. I thought as much, and so I've got this thing connected to the network now, and I'll probably leave it running overnight and see what it'll do for updates and whatnot, and get it up to speed. and then clean it up. This is actually one of Jen's old computers, so there's a bunch of cross-stitch purdies on it and stuff like that if you want, Aaron.
Oh boy. Well, if it was me, I'd probably would just put I'd probably just, do a fresh install of Windows and then just put the one app on there. But yeah, depending on how clean it is, that it might not be that hard to clean up. So, but I was dinking around with the app tonight, and I realized that there was a map option. And the second I saw that I could overlay the intended direction on the map, I was like, okay, I got to switch it. I got to get the compass off the screen. So, the map was a hit tonight. Everybody wants it to stick around, and I have a feeling that we're going to get a lot of complaints if we don't get it on the other bands relatively quickly.
Yeah, let them complain all they want. When they start paying my salary, then they have room to complain. Otherwise, every bit of this I do isn't costing them a thing, and every bit of it you do and Mike does, so they can sit and spin. They can wait their turn.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. It's just funny, but multiple comments tonight. They're like, "Oh, this is cool." So yeah, as I was telling Mike earlier, we can tell when he overshoots places or if he's not exactly pointed in the right direction, and I don't know, I might catch him a couple times pointed in the wrong direction. I'll just have to fix it.
Yeah. And speaking of fixing it, this 9700, as fancy as it is, it's kind of weird. Gives you 2 COM ports. Doesn't really say anything in the manual that I could see about, what they'll do. They're just a couple of COM ports. And so I go in and I start working with it. And first thing I do is I bring up my logging software. I assign that to COM3, and so now I got COM4 left over to do the interface, and it takes over and now won't let the logging work. And so then I figured out about, you have to go into the B setting for the second COM port, and it gives you the choices of either IF or AF, and of course we're going to use AF. And you want data, or I forget what the other one was, but and under data you can choose CIV if you want. So I chose that because I figured, and so trying to run that on COM4, and it just wouldn't work for either radio, the 7600 or the 9700. So, but they would both work on COM3 just fine. And after enough thinking around, I figured out, well, all I really need to do with that other COM port is push to talk, and I farted around in using COM4 and RTS. I was able to make it work, and so COM4 is now the push to talk, and COM3 is able to talk to the rig. And inside of WSJT, I have rig control turned off there because I don't need it there. Don't want it there. All I need is a push to talk. So I got it all working, and I'm ready to try to work some of this stuff on this 6-meter FT8 business. If I can figure out what's wrong, why I can only get 500 watts before I start an arc failure.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, the USB-B thing is really weird because it can do like RTTY, it can do D-Star data. I'm looking at my 705, and it can also I can also feed weather information in. I know you can do GPS out. I've used that before. I have an app on my computer that you can sync the clock based off of GPS data, and so the 705 has a GPS unit in it, and it can output the GPS data to the the B COM port, and then you can feed that into the Windows app and sync your clock if you're out in the middle of nowhere, which is really important on FT8 when you're out in the middle of nowhere and your clock is wrong. So I had that as an option. Of course, I also do have a little USB GPS dongle that I bought off of Amazon for $14, which is a lot easier than using the radio. But yeah, it's kind of interesting how the CIV really is limited to that first, to the A COM port, and then the B COM port is for the auxiliary functions. Yeah, you figured out how to configure it so that you can use it as a push to talk. So at least you're able to utilize it, and then I'm assuming you're getting your audio in and out, which that means you don't have to use your signal link.
Yeah, and what was the weird thing about that at first? At first, for some reason, I can't remember what it was. Must have had something to do with where the data was going or something. At first, I couldn't get the sound card. Let's see. Yeah, I couldn't get the output. You know, I was getting the input. But anyways, yeah, I got it all figured out because, you know, it's all similar to stuff I've done before. I mean, I've been doing EME for years and digital before that. And so, you know, I started out with the stuff where you had audio cables going both directions and this and that, and you're using a COM port and just lots and lots of things you had to do to get the interface to all work. And that's why I like the Signal Link USB, one cable to the rig and one cable to the computer, and it's done. So that's how the 7600s working. But I wanted to try. I had the single link for it and cable and everything for it sitting here. But I wanted to try that inner stuff after what Russ went through, and you told me that it wasn't needed, and that's what got me started on this. Having never looked at the radio or the book or anything about how to do any of that. I looked at the manual a little bit, but it doesn't really tell you enough to really know anything, and poked sticks at it till I got frustrated, and then sent you the text, and then 5 minutes later, all of a sudden stumbled across the answer. Over.
Oh, yeah, very good. Yeah, and yep, I know about the older days because I have a rig blaster sitting here on my desk. I actually use it with a foot switch and another ham radio program that I use can reference that COM port. And so I literally have a rig blaster sitting here with no audio cables going through it. I just have a foot switch plugged into it. So that I can feed that into a serial port on my computer to run an app. But yeah, it's I remember those days where you had to run the audio cables in both directions, and they distilled it all the way down to a single USB port, which is pretty handy.
Yeah, well, and now they've even taken even better with this 9700 because you can just plug in and do it. And I think I've got the bugs worked out. Time will tell. We'll see how good that sound card is. That's one thing is my computer does have a very good sound card for the sole purpose of decoding EME signals. And so we'll see how this ICOM, this 9700 pans out. It should be good for that, though, because, I mean, it's put in this radio for that digital stuff, so it should actually work pretty fantastic for it, I would hope.
Yeah, I mean, I've had pretty good luck with it for doing terrestrial, FT8. I've worked Mexico on 2-meter FT8 with 100 watts on my whole loop, so I've been pretty successful with it. Granted, I'm not going through the USB sound card. I'm doing that over the networking interface. So yeah, it's pretty incredible how many ways you can feed audio in and out of that rig, because there's also an accessory port that you can feed audio in and out of. You can feed in and out of the USB port. You can do it through the networking, or you can go in through the mic jack on the front. So it's and the headphone jack. So there's like 4 different ways to get audio in and out of that rig.
Yeah, well, like keying an amplifier, in your accessory port, you have, I think it's pin 7 if I remember, 1 line to key an amplifier. But the DX shop makes that neat little box, and Mike gave me one. And you plug that in, and now it's got, all 3 bands are on that box, and it is controlled by the CIV line, so it knows which band is up, so it knows which band to key. So that's all well and good, except for I'm doing EME stuff, and I have sequencers and relays and all that kind of stuff, and I need to go through that first sequencer from this rig with the key line. So what do? The accessory port, the box has the accessory port extended on it, so I could have just come off of there, except that was plugged into the rig blaster I was going to use. So I got creative and created me a little line that can plug into both 432 and 2 meters and go to the sequencer. And then no matter which band I'm on, it keys the sequencer, which in turn, the first sequencer keys all my relays and preamps and all that stuff. The second sequencer keys all the high-powered amps. And so I got all creative, and I did that. And that was a couple of days ago, and now today I discover that, I'm taking the success report out. I had pin 7 or whichever one it is available the whole time and just didn't realize it. So it's funny the stuff you learn with these newer rigs as you go along.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that think that radio should have really had 3 key ports. There really should be a separate key port for each band, and it wouldn't have been that hard for ICOM to implement that, but oh well. They put one on there, so yeah, you got to go to the third-party market to get that splitter, which is, I've seen that product before, and it's a pretty creative solution. It just sits there and monitors the CIV data for what band you're on, and then it keys up the appropriate output. So, but that's probably the one of the improvements that people would wish that radio had was 3 key ports.
Yeah, I've heard the comment before, but then I tend to, I have the tendency of taking all my key lines and diode isolating them and running every amp, plugged into every amp in the building, with one key line. But, of course, I used to be all big tube amps and stuff like that. And, of course, I guess I should say I still have big tube amps now that I think about it, because I got 220, 2 meters, 432, 6 meters, HF, all are big tube amps. But anyways, yeah, so I always find a solution. I figure it out, and, it's very rare that I go to anybody else or call anybody else. And just when I get too tired and frustrated, and I know a guy probably knows the answer before I can finish the question, I might call him up. But, it's like Mike. I met Mike early on in my ham radio career. He got me going in EME, but there was only one time ever did I have Mike come by my house and give me some advice about something, and it was because I didn't think my MT-1000 elevator was working properly, and it was just operator error on my part. But I've never had him come over and set up my digital or teach me how to do EME or anything like that. But I can't tell you the number of hams I've had to go help them set up their stuff and teach them how to do digital, and then 2 weeks later they call you up and, I have a mess with it, I forgot how to do that.
Yep, been there, done that. So I definitely know the feeling. So, but yep, and I'm gonna have to go down that key road when I get the 220 transverter and an HF amp, and I'm already I'm already figuring out. Yep, I'm gonna have to put some kind of a splitter, and then who cares if I'm keying the transverter when I'm on HF, because the transverter will be off. So who cares? So yeah, I've already thought about that. And then my plan during the VHF UHF contest is to run a cable out of the closet over to my 705 and run the 220 off of my 705. And so I already went through my drawer of spare cables, and sure enough, I had a cable long enough to reach from the 705 back into the closet where the transverter is going to be. So. So when I get around to doing the contest, I can, run a piece of coax for the IF, and then a control cable for the transverter, and just run that off the 705. So, yep, I'm gonna go down that road at some point. So, but it's looking like I probably won't get to order the transverter till January. So we'll see. The competition is still on.
All right, well, on that note, I am going to get out of here. I want to work on this computer, and it's behind me, and I keep turning around to step on my foot switch and talk to you. And so quit bothering me if you want to get that next station rotor on your screen there, Aaron. You got to leave me alone. Quit harassing me while I'm trying to work. K6USY, good night from W6BBS.
Yeah, good night, Frank, and good night to everybody on YouTube. K6USY Delta Mike 06.